So of course, big weekend for mixed martial arts and for boxing. I just got back from Riyadh yesterday, and it was an event like I've never experienced before. Not only like the way it was set up, the outside, the undercard arena, and then the opening ceremony and the ring coming out the floor and everything, but just a build up, like and you know, the expectation that Francis was going to fall really, really short. And you know, of course, like my prediction was that Tyson was going to kind of probably stop him around the fifth or sixth round after Ngannou had punched himself out a little bit, and you know, because Tyson's a master at wearing people down, but he maintained his composure all the way through. I was very, very impressed with him, and a lot of the boxers that I was working with, you know, Carl Frampton was on the broadcast next to me, Steve Bunce as well, you know, boxing journalist legend, and they were both saying the same things. They were like, we think Francis is winning this. And then, so, you know, I watched the fight back a couple of times yesterday, and I've reflected on it. I had Francis winning, and my scorecard is still the same right now. But what I would say is the first round was one of the most difficult to score, and a lot of people would say that went to Fury, which I can't disagree with. I scored it for Francis based on the quality of his power punches. So I should have brought my scorecard. I went first, second, third, fourth to Francis, fifth and sixth to Fury, 7th, 8th to Francis, 9th and 10th to Fury. But then you've got to remember that the third round was a knockdown, so that goes as a 10-8. And then I looked at the CompuBox stats, and you look at the punch count and the power punch count. You've got Fury over the distance winning 71 to 59 for total strikes landed. But then you've got Ngannou winning power strikes 37 to 32. And for me, like the quality of Ngannou's punches was better. He connected cleaner, he did more damage. And I'm maybe scoring this from a mixed martial arts perspective, but if the fight was for the baddest man on the planet, Francis is the baddest man on the planet. Like, we didn't get the Tyson Fury that most people expected. And I, you know, caveat, one thing I will say, if the Tyson Fury that fought Deontay Wilder showed up, it would have been a very different fight, because he was far more prepared for a far more dangerous, in his mind, a far more dangerous opponent in Deontay Wilder. But then this was the perfect storm. This was the circumstance where Ngannou was going to win, was going to be successful. The one thing that did surprise us all, and take my hat off to him, the big if was if he landed the big shot, right? If he landed the power punch, the one punch that changed the fight. And you know, you can argue that in the third round he did land that punch, but I expected it to be a bit more reckless. I expected it to be a little bit more chaotic and wild. I thought Francis was going to be crashing into range and smothering himself in the clinch, and that's where Fury was going to grab him, weigh on him, and tire him out. But the fact that Francis stayed out of range, maintained his composure, didn't bite on any of the feints that we were seeing from Tyson Fury that were trying to get Francis to trigger those big power shots, was one of the most impressive things. Like, I never thought to myself that I would see Ngannou outboxing Tyson. At points in the fight, he definitely did. And you know, he didn't really want to clinch. It was Tyson that was doing the majority of the clinching. And I think when he did clinch Ngannou, I think he realized the strength of the individual. You know, Francis is a phenomenal athlete, but he had a great game plan. He had great coaching. You've got to take your hat off to it. Eric Nixick and Dewey Cooper and Mike Tyson for preparing him the way that they did. After the third, fourth round, for me, you know, it was a victory for Ngannou regardless, because he did the unexpected. But the fact that he stayed in the fight until the 10th round, and the fact that he was able to be competitive in the last rounds as well, was very, very impressive for me. And the good news this morning that we've heard is that the WBC are going to rank Francis Ngannou in their top 10. Literally got goosebumps when I said that. That means he's a heavyweight boxing contender in there amongst the best after one professional fight. So for all the doubters, all the people that said that he was scared of taking chances and wants to fight lesser opponents, etc., etc., it was just, you know, with one big left hook against the Gypsy King, Francis Ngannou silenced a lot of people. And you know, as an MMA fan, as a MMA fighter, and as a part of the PFL, it was just an incredible night. And I will say as well, I want to you know, take my hat off to the people that I was working on the broadcast with. You know, Laura Wood and Carl Frampton and Steve Bunce, and the commentators as well. They were saying it how they saw it. They were calling the fight as they saw it. And for me, Francis won. Very, very impressive.